Alright guys, you have made it to part 7. This is the kind of main moment for us. So we're going to get the coilovers in to start this video. If this is your first time clicking on our videos, make sure that you guys watch. Obviously we're on part 7, so there's 6 other parts that we've worked really hard making the videos, making the content. The playlist and everything will be in the description and also at the end of the video. But with all that being said, we're going to go on and start installing our coilovers. And if you guys have missed the other parts, we already pre-built these coilovers and set them to the height and length that they need to be. We're out here building any level trucks. Alright guys, as you can see, our suspension is what Ryan likes to call in the air. And it is legitimately in the air. And we can control the hydraulics and get the wheels on, do whatever we got to do. So that's freaking sweet. I think we're going to start with some easy stuff, like doing the sway bar and kind of just some random stuff. In the front, we could tighten and torque the coilover bolts right now. Those ones for sure can be done because the brake lines don't have any interference with that. So we could do that really quickly. And then I gotta paint the drive shaft and that other thing. And then that's pretty much all we can do in the front until we get the 4-link lined up. Alright guys, so we are going to start getting kind of all the riff-raffy stuff done. So we're going to start on this rear axle, getting all of our brake lines and just whatever wiring goes into this rear axle. We're going to do our best to make it super clean and nice and just kind of figure out what all we need to get done. Here at High Altitude Trucks, we installed the Extendo brake line, cuz. Alright guys, we are getting our front brake lines, ABS lines, and hub vacuum lines hooked up. This is like a very important step to make sure that when the truck is moving up and down, that the lines don't get pinched, that nothing, hits that. So definitely an important step, and also you just want it to look really clean and good. So AnyLevel provides, some brackets and ways to mount all this stuff and make it look really good. So we pretty much have finished up that. Since we did our real hub lock on this side, we're adding the vacuum line. So there's a little bit of connections that we still got to figure out and tie into, which we'll get those part numbers in the description as well, because you'll probably still need that if you're doing the hub kit. Since we've got this kind of like pretty much done, we're going to start moving on to some other things as well. So yeah, we'll just get into that stuff. All right, guys, if you were doing your hub fix solution that we put in one of the last videos, I think it was part 5, you're definitely going to need to get this vacuum line from Ford. It was actually not too expensive for all these parts, but since we are doing the any level, we're definitely not going to be using all of them. We just got to figure out what parts we're actually going to need here, which I think I have a pretty good idea of. All right, now the only thing I got to figure out is just how to connect these two. And then it's got vacuum. As Ryan likes to say, the suspension is on the ground now. But yeah, we got our wheels on, we got the suspension on the ground, well, the wheels on the ground, the truck on the ground, and now it is time to do what is called the axle alignment. So we're not doing the full alignment. There's 2 parts to the alignment. This one is going to be centering the axle to the frame, front and rear, and then as well as getting our wheelbase. So we got to figure out how the hell we're going to do that. Get it flat, get it straight, and then we'll go right above that hump. So we are at 107 7/8. I can't get it to go to the same height. So we're at 107 and a half. 107 and a half. So we're at 16 degrees of pinion angle. We're good. 100% in the rear. No problems. As per any level's instructions, there's 2 alignment procedures, the first alignment procedure and then the second alignment procedure. Right now, like I said, we're kind of checking the distance of the wheelbase and then also checking the center of the axle to the frame. So what that means is essentially the distance between the outside edge of this tire and the frame rail are centered. We're actually perfectly dead nut center. And then from a place on the frame to the axle, we're checking kind of where the wheelbase is. And you want to be within about 1/16 of an inch for both of those measurements. That's kind of like in general when you're doing a 4-link or any kind of lift kit. So yeah, everything's perfect. We just checked the degrees of our pinion angle. We're exactly where we need to be on that as well. So the rear is 100%, like legitimately 100% complete. And yeah, basically the only thing that we have left is just tightening our 4-link bars. So our adjustment stays in the rear, and also making sure that they're kind of clocked and adjusted the angle wise exactly where we want them. And now that that's done, we're going to go into the front and start getting the same thing kind of done for that. Okay, let's see if it's good on this side. We have successfully got this truck, the wheelbase, exactly the same within 1/16 of an inch. Also getting the axle centered. We're going to check the pinion angle, and then we can actually move on to some fun stuff. Alright guys, so now we got our bed installed, we got that tightened, we got all kinds of stuff going on. We're going to get into the front end and get our panhard bar mechanism in and our steering mechanism in and our tie bar mount in. That way we can just get the whole front end of this truck completed. And yeah, so we're going to start with this panhard bar. There's a lot of sequences to follow, so we'll just get it going. And I'm going to show you how to install it.
What the heck's going on?
Well, for some reason, the front suspension is not going back up, and I don't know why. It's very funky. So, yeah, I just don't know what to say about it.